Adam Byers. This is Adam Byer. Hi Adam.
Hi.
So we're just going to have a wander around and a bit of an update because I haven't been here for a couple of years, and it's changed a lot. I know we've talked about it just now anyway, but we'll talk about it again, and it's changed from when I was here, and obviously you've done a huge amount. So we're just going to go in this polytunnel now. Different range of fish in here. Some of they're all for sale, aren't they, apart from one tank which we've got that you've got to post to people or they're going to collect.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, so now it's stopped raining, well, you can hear us.
That's brilliant. Yeah, this is our sales room. We put this in, you were here a couple of years ago. We've expanded so much since then, putting the pieces together for the business, and the sales room is an important aspect of that. We even have the sign on the door. We went onto Google Maps over the winter. That was one of my winter jobs.
In fact, I googled it here. I just typed in Byer's Koi Farm and pushed it, and it took me right here. So it does work. It's perfect.
And I have the dot on the map right on the drive, so
yep.
It takes you to the right spot. And when we went on Google Maps over the winter, you have to have a sign outside your building. So I constructed this, and it actually tells a story it tells our story about how we started up, because these are some of the
prize-winning fish.
Yeah, champion prize-winning fish. We've had almost 10 now. Many of them won by ourselves when we were hobbyists, but now some by customers. A couple last year, 2 baby champions last year from customers that picked up our tow side. But this was our first baby champion fish. This is actually that fish at Nisai at the South of England show in 2016. In 2015, this one won baby champion at that show, and then in 2016, this one won baby champion at the same show. And that's a small picture of it, and then that's a larger picture of it. Yeah. And are they your fish, or these were your fish? Yes. From you personally? We've bred these. Not as in you as in, did you show these fish, sorry? Yes, so back in the hobbyist days. When you used to show, yeah. Yeah, I was able to show. When we started, this was a hobby. It no longer is, it hasn't been for a few years, but back at the beginning it absolutely was. And so, this tells our story. Really, the champion fish that we've bred is why we've set it up as a business. We got to the All England baby champion here in the autumn 2016, and that was really the end of my hobby, because as a hobbyist, breeding koi to take to a show and actually winning competitive placings is very difficult. Then winning a major champion award at the All England show it made international press. Yeah. People didn't feel it was possible. And well, that was, I think, your original goal, wasn't it? I remember reading years ago, it was to breed a fish and take it to a show to win a major prize. Yes. I think, is that right? Yeah, originally to win any competitive
or a prize. Okay, yeah.
A prize, and beat some other fish. At this show, we beat all of them. Yeah. So this actual fish won baby champion. It came first in, obviously, Khaku size 2. It beat all the other fish in size 2, irrespective of variety. Best in size 2 overall. At that same show, we had another Khaku, not in this shot, which was in size 1. It beat all the fish in size 1. So our fish that we bred beat all the fish in size 1. Another one beat all the fish in size 2, and then it was a run-off between those two for baby champion, and this one took it. At that point, that was the end of the hobby. I didn't feel I could do more than that as a hobbyist. Yeah. And I do like taking on difficult challenges, difficult projects as hobbies. That's just the way I'm built. And I felt that was it. So the choice then was, do I bring this to a close, or do we expand and set this up as a business? Because at that point we'd achieved great things, and this wasn't standalone. This was at the end of a line of quite a few champions at different shows. Well, that fish was probably the thing that kick-started you to push into the change of going bigger and from a hobbyist to I say professional, but because you're taking money for it, so it's a professional kind of thing, isn't it? It is. This is a commercial koi farm. We've built it up since that point. This is autumn 2016. Okay, from 2017, that's when Amanda went full time here, and it's taken that length of time to build up all the facilities and the brew stock and all those sorts of things to be able to operate on a commercial basis, which we are doing now. And this was young champion a few years earlier at a club show. Okay. So as I said, we've had almost 10 major champion awards, and it's at the All England show, at that baby champion, people were wanting to buy our fish. We could see that we could breed good fish. So there was an opportunity to set it up as a business, both from a customer interest point of view, but also in seeing that we were producing something good, and I also wanted to go further and improve on that further. And to do that, I needed scale, and for that, I needed to set up on a commercial
Well, koi
basis.
is a bit of a numbers game, isn't it? You look how many you get out of a spawning, and you're looking for a handful of fish if you're looking for that special kind of thing. So you need space to be able to sort through them all, and obviously move them on and sell them, and even just see them, don't you?
Absolutely. We select our fish. I look at every fish individually. Last year, 2019, we produced 120,000 Khakus to first selection size, which is about an inch long, or let's say anywhere between 20 mil and 30 mil. We'll have a look separately at the fish growing on from that. I think I have about 30 that I'm growing onto this side from 120,000.
Wow.
So that's just an example of the ratios that you just mentioned. Yeah.
Big ratios. All right, so we'll go in here now and have a quick look at some of these fish. We probably won't look at the sole tank because, you know, someone will go, well, I like that fish, or that's my fish, why is that on your video? But we'll have a look at some of these other tanks. There's obviously not a huge amount here because you've had an extremely busy summer, haven't you? With
Yes.
Unfortunately, coronavirus has sort of worked in your favour a bit because there's been a lot more people at home buying more fish and having projects on, I presume. So they've had, because you do mail order as well, don't you? So
we absolutely do. We deliver all around the country. We use APC's overnight service. We also new this year we have a same day courier as well.
Okay.
That's particularly brilliant, particularly for people who want that fish just to be in the bag for a few hours, and we pack it in the morning and it's delivered later in the day, sometimes 2 or 3 hours.
Unbelievable.
It's really good. So that's been brilliant. But yes, we ship all around the country, mainland UK. And you're absolutely right. Speaking to others in the industry, you know, many have had a good year for those reasons. People taking home projects, but you know, also year on year since 2017, we've picked up new customers. We've been able to produce more and better quality fish, and so we've seen year on year growth each year anyway.
Yeah.
So this year I think it's been a double whammy. So yes, it perhaps is.
That's helped, as long as obviously just natural growth and you're doing the right thing, I presume.
That's it. So we were extremely busy, and you know, we're extremely grateful for our customers who love our fish.
Yeah. Hence, obviously, because I know you feel like there should be more fish here, but I thought there was plenty enough anyway. But you're used to seeing obviously overflowing with fish kind of thing. That's more the comment.
That's right. And you know, from June, we haven't listed fish in Visually online, just to help preserve some stock here.
Yeah.
So that you know, for the last couple of months, you know, after the lockdown has been eased, we have been able to have people here by appointment, social distance, and we have something to be able to show them, which is we're very keen about. So come through. And this was a new facility that we put into place about 1.5 years ago, so at the beginning of 2019. And it just enables us to split our fish into sizes and grades to enable customers to come over and find the type of thing they want and to provide a selection for them at that place.
And I know you said, how many litres of water you got in here? We've got 8 tanks, is it? No, 10 tanks, 11 tanks.
12. One more. There's 8 big ones, 4 small ones.
Oh, okay, yeah, sorry, I can see them now. My eyes.
That's it. And all linked up on one system.
Yep.
Filtered with 1 drum.
Okay.
And one, which I can show you, and 1 bubbling K1 very large barrel.
Right.
Okay. In total, 36,000 litres.
A lot of water, yeah.
Yeah. And I have 2 pumps. There's a bit of redundancy there. So if one goes, I've got the other one, and it works the system brilliantly. It's very simple. Our filtration across all of our systems, and we have quite a few systems now, is built on the same principle. Bottom drains to a drum, then to a moving K1 bed, as they call it, bubbling K1 in a vessel, and then either back to the pond by gravity or pump fed. Back to the pond. It just depends on the lie of the land in the particular place we built our tank.
I presume drums changed it for you because you were saying earlier you had Nexuses in there. Although they did a job, it was the cleaning of them and the maintenance required for them was the...
Yes, that's right. We have some smaller systems still where we have Nexuses on them, and I find that one Nexus 300 series is great. So two of these tubs, so about a sort of 8,000–9,000 litre system.
Right.
It probably more than handles it. I'm operating a fish farm, so we have multiple fry batches. These are all accounted for. Phase 4 fry.
What are in there? You've got some metallics of
Most of this is from an Ogon spawning. We've got a range of Ogons from that. There are a few Khakus in there too. Phase 5 is coming, and it's going to be Khaku based.
Okay.
They're the fish that we caught a little bit of drone footage of.
Right.
And then this is also part of our fry mix, but this includes some metallics and some Khakus as well.
How many are in here and how many are in there, do you think? Would you estimate? Is it that many?
Yeah,
I mean, I wouldn't even be able to hazard a guess at that, but yeah, there's a lot, isn't there?
Okay, for others, I think we can perhaps bowl some up.
Yeah, if you want to get some in the bowl, we can have a closer look at anything in particular that you feel is...
Let's do a little bit of food. Let's try a bit of food and see what we can do about. Is that an okay angle for you, camera-wise? Maybe a bit camera shy. Can we pull out a few of the nicer ones from here?
Yeah, why not? I'm alright with that.
Yeah.
Do you know what you're doing? Got it.
Maybe that too. What's that one? So we're so obviously very well known for our Khakus, but also our Ogons.
Well, you did
it for the first time.
it was the Makashis.
Yeah, we breed Makashis, but there is Yamabuki in the bloodline.
Okay.
The parents for my Makashi, my female parent, is from Matsue, and the bloodline there is we've got Makashi in it, and also some Yamabuki. So
You get some really light ones.
yeah. Some of our Ogons are actually also won competitive placings in shows. We started breeding them as when we were developing the business side of things, because as much as we love Khakus, and a lot of other people do,
Do you think you're always going to have that fondness for Khaku because that's where it all started?
absolutely.
Is that your favourite breed then of a fish? Or
It
type?
is, and I do think that's where I test myself. Where is it? because I think they are one of the most difficult varieties to breed commercially, because the keep rates in terms of the pattern percentage is so low. We talked earlier about out of 120,000 Khakus that we produced last year to an inch in size, I'm only growing 30 onto this side.
Yeah.
Should we have a look at? So that's one of the aspects that make it so difficult. So this is our 60-pound tank. Okay, these are toe size between 20 and 25 centimetres. These are actually from a late summer spawning 2019. And all of them. And I pulled out a few from the tank. You know, what you're getting with us at this point is just a great colour and a pattern on the Khakus.
Well, we said to you before, belly quality. I mean, that's the deepness of that one there, and even that one there is.
Yeah, thickness of colour and the depth. They're still really young, these fish. They're only about 12 months old, maybe 12 and a half months. They were a late summer spawning. But you know, this one, for example, is really lovely. The white on it's fantastic, very neat. I'm just going to gently, you can see, you know, I'm just easing the fish into a position, and you can see
the way the patterns on the scales.
There's, you know, the red goes right to the base of the scales. There's no white at the base of it. So that is a quality red. Now, that is what we're delivering at this point. So people who take these fish can feel comfortable with the red, and they get a pattern that they like, and we're really happy about that. And our customers seem to be too. The Ogons, these are going to grow like monsters. These are also very young, 12 months old. Great shine, lovely skin,
Clean, yeah.
Really fantastic. So these are some of the better examples currently out of our 60-pound tank. Does that help?
Oh yeah, well, it wasn't too bad, but that is a lot better, yeah. Yeah, definitely the white on the fish is really good.
People, you know, the red's even, it's not inconsistent, and
well, this is selection process, isn't it? This is sort of down to you, because you've weeded them out and gone through them however many times.
That's right. And we produce koi at a range of standards. This is a good standard, £60. But we produce smaller, and bigger. And if you look at a couple of bigger ones, in this tank across here, this is the other end of the spectrum. Okay, so we also sell Nisai and some Sunsai. Most have been sold this year. We've got 3 left. This is a really good example of a quality Nisai Khaku from us. It's around 50 centimetres. Again, you can see the quality of the red, the consistency of the red.
Yeah.
There's no white at the base of the scales.
So we're just, when you're bending the fish, there's no white when the fish is bent, is there, on the scale, which you sometimes see? Is that what you were looking for?
That's right, Andy. That's right. So the red colour itself can present just at the top of the scales, on the surface of the scales. And so as a person looking at a fish, unless you look deeper, you may not know how deep your red goes. So you could be, to see the full quality of the red, you want red on the surface, in the middle layer, and at the base. Okay, and this fish has got it. Okay, and what that means from a customer experience is a longevity of the red colour, a brighter and stronger visual presentation. In short, more pleasing to look at in the pond.
How this fish is not sold, I don't know. It's lovely.
Yeah. This is $2.95, and it's a brilliant example of a one-step pattern. It's got the white nose, it's got a white tail stop, it's got one cut in here, one little cut in there, and the white dorsal, and it needs all of those pattern aspects to to carry it off and to make it into a Nisai here at Byer Koi. The red's fantastic, it's going to grow really well. It's already grown very well. And
I mean, with regards to sex, is that anywhere on your list of, because it looks probably like a male, is that maybe?
It is a male.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is it anywhere on our list of selection?
Yeah. Would the sex of a fish make, depending on what the sex is, would it make you either keep it or not keep it because it was male or female?
It's a factor, but maybe.
Or are you just always looking at the quality? Is that your first kind of attribute things that you're looking for? Is not pattern, but like body, and then depth of, if it's a Khaku, depth of the benny.
Okay, so there's a lot in that question.
Yeah, sorry, I was a bit stuttery as well, which didn't help. But yeah, I'm just saying, as in, what would lead you to select a fish? What would be the first kind of thing that you'd be looking for?
Okay, the answer is different. You've got all the characteristics there, and they are all important characteristics. But we're a fish farm, so I rear fish from the hatchling, which we'll have a look at later.
Yeah.
Which is like a fraction of a grain of rice, and I might look at fish at 1 inch long, and how I select at each of those stages will be different, but it will be those factors that come into play. So, for example, at 1 inch long, I'm looking at pattern. That's all I'm looking at. A Khaku at 1 inch long. This fish at 1 inch long would have been a little red thing with a tiny amount of white on the nose.
But that would have been maybe what you'd have looked at and thought that's a keeper maybe at that point.
Yeah, I'm going to release this one because
it's looking a bit feisty.
That's right. There we go. There's another one here we can look at, but let me answer that question before I start pushing.
Yeah, go on.
Okay, so 1 inch size. Yeah, this is irrelevant for the most hobbyists. As a farmer, though, it's a key part of our process. So pattern is what I look at in a Khaku at 1 inch long.
Right.
That is the case right through until probably toe size stage.
Okay.
So we will select them about 5 times before that, separately.
All based on pattern every time, other than the obvious things like body deformities and whatever, but
yes.
Pattern is your go-to thing for a Khaku.
That's right. In our breeding lines, we very rarely have a body that is so bad that I would need to use that as a selection criteria.
Okay, so you're quite confident, obviously, with the lines that you've bred, and you've seen, obviously, you've built this knowledge up over years of doing it, haven't you? So
that's right. But it is an important point. So, having optimised my parent sets, these are the shark these are here. We have other optimised parent sets. That tells me, I know then I'm confident in the body shapes.
yeah.
Okay. Again, colour quality, I do look at that too. It's probably wrong to say it's just pattern. I do look at colour quality as well. Okay. But again, the colour quality that I get from that particular parent set, having optimised it,
You're quite confident it will come.
Yeah, that's right.
At some point. I mean, if a fish is toe side, there's still a lot for that fish to do.
At toe side, that's when I'm starting to look at the fish, and all the characteristics are probably equal weighting. At that point, you're looking at pattern, but I'm also then looking at least 50% on the quality of the colour and the body at that point.
Okay.
So for me to take a fish to Nisai, which is 2 summers old, it's got to have a good pattern.
Yeah.
Okay. It's also got to have very good colour quality. And it's got to have a good body shape, and it's got to have a propensity to grow as well. And that's how it comes in. That's my selection criteria.
Okay.
So that particular fish ticks all of those boxes. You asked about the sex. I won't discriminate against sex at that stage.
You can't in this modern day and age, can you now? But no.
That's a great example of a very good male.
Yeah.
That we would go on.
But it's not one of your selection criteria. You're not looking for females.
No.
It doesn't matter to you. Just looking for them, the Byer qualities, which are like.
That's right. I am looking for females, and then they grade out. If that fish was female, it would probably be
Well, it probably wouldn't be 295, and it'd probably be a bit bigger maybe anyway. So I suppose, yeah.
The price might even be double.
In fact, I've talked about this recently on one of my videos. I bought a male fish from a friend, and the value within buying a male over a female is ridiculous, because a fish of that size that I bought probably would have been double, if not triple, the cost.
Yes.
Especially at a dealer's. So the quality, and the people get too hung up maybe sometimes on just having a female fish, but
you mentioned about growth. Up to this size, you're right that in the most part males will be outgrown by the females. And when going shopping for fish, typically in imported fish, the females will be larger. As a farmer, I find that out of my males, I get many that will conform to that, what most people would feel of as normality.
yeah,
But I also get the large-bodied and fast-growing males.
yeah,
Okay, so they will outgrow the females up to about 50 centimetres, 40 to 50 centimetres in general. Females will be a few centimetres short, and then at around this size, females will take over. So it's not very difficult for us. A male like that, for example, now 50 centimetres, it's been in the sales room for 6 months, maintenance rations only. So it's done that in a year and a half. A male like that will go through 60, probably through 10 centimetres reasonably easily. If that was female, from that same parent set, same lineage, then it probably would carry on past that, maybe by 10 or 15 centimetres, something like that.
okay,
Yeah. In terms of potential, and yes, you're right. When we grade our koi, the koi get a price, but we sell them out. So the value uplift, or that additional potential, is probably double.
okay.
In the case of that fish.
Hence male fish being, if you can get the right one, an absolute bargain buy.
Yes, absolutely. Now, so equally, if you want to flip that another way, can you get a female fish go around this kind of price or less? What would you have to compromise on to get it?
Well, yeah, that's the thing.
So I can show you an example.
Okay, good. This wasn't planned, by the way. This is just the way it's rolling, but I like that.
Let's go this way.
Is the compromise blatantly obvious?
You know what, Amanda would probably not be happy with me using that word, but the fact that the reality.
It is, isn't it? Everyone in the koi game, hobbyists, there's always, it's not when you buy a house, there's always something you want a dream something, but you can't quite afford it. There's always a compromise somewhere. Yes. Maybe with a fish that would be worth £1,000 is only £700. That's because there's a compromise, maybe.
It's prioritisations.
Did Amanda tell you to say that?
She's not here, but
okay.
Probably, yeah.
It's hard to explain, isn't it? But I know what you're saying, as in, it's not.
Yeah. Rarity comes in. The rarity factor is the aspect. So one of the things I've learned since we've been breeding koi is what the percentage of a spawning that would be female is.
Right.
Perhaps naively, I just assumed it would be roughly 50-50, like it is with the human race, but it's not.
Ah, okay.
It is mostly male. 80%, easily 8 or 9.
It's definitely raining.